Well, here in this country, Democratic Senator Robert Menendez of New Jersey is vowing to fight against corruption charges filed against him yesterday by the federal government. Menendez is being charged with 14 counts of corruption, including conspiracy to commit bribery and fraud. In a speech last night in Newark, Menendez vowed that he would be vindicated.
I'm outraged that prosecutors at the Justice Department were tricked into starting this investigation 3 years ago with false allegations by those who have a political motive to silence me. But I will not be silenced.
Steve Adubato is a political analyst in New Jersey. He's with us via Skype from Princeton. Steve, welcome back.
Thank you, Jeremy. It's a very interesting and complicated case.
Well, and tell us more about these 14 counts of corruption against Menendez.
Look, the Department of Justice, the federal government, has been looking at United States Senator Bob Menendez for a couple of years now, and his relationship with Dr. Melgen, his longtime friend of, I believe, over 20 years. The bottom line is this. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a former prosecutor, as many people were commenting on this case, but it involves questions of bribery, using his office to influence agencies of the federal government to help Dr. Melgen get special favors, if you will, from federal agencies dealing with Medicare issues, helping Dr. Melgen, having to do with business that Dr. Melgen had in another country, having to do with port activities. Part of the complication in this case is Dr. Melgen has flown Senator Menendez to the Dominican Republic several times on his private jet. He has put him up in hotels in the Dominican Republic at Dr. Melgen's expense. And look, Bob Menendez has said, of course he's done these things, but he's my friend, and he did it because he's my friend. And I did these things for him because he's my friend. He contributed to my campaigns and to the Democratic Party because he's my friend. And now the federal government right now has to prove a case that says whether he is your friend or not, we believe that you have abused your office. You have been a corrupt United States senator because you have helped Dr. Melgen, who, in fact, let's be clear, is not a citizen of New Jersey. It is a citizen of Florida.
Right.
We believe that you have helped him because he has benefited you personally through campaign contributions and through these gifts that in some cases the senator did not disclose according to the Department of Justice, which they are also charging him with as part of the corruption case. This is complicated, and if it goes the wrong way for the senator, let me say this, there are an awful lot of members of Congress and other elected officials who are shaking in their boots.
There's another aspect to this, which is that Senator Menendez has been critical of the Obama administration. We remember Senator Menendez is a Democrat, same as the Obama administration. He has talked about the policy shift to normalize relations with Cuba. Here's what he told MSNBC's Andrea Mitchell in December.
If you're going to normalize relationships, you gave everything the Castro regime has wanted and has had advocates for here in the United States, and you got nothing in return.
So critical of the Obama administration there. He's also criticizing President Obama's stance on Iran's nuclear weapons.
The more I hear from the administration and its quotes, the more it sounds like talking points that come straight out of Tehran. And it feeds to the Iranian narrative of victimization when they are the ones with original sin.
What about this storyline, Steve Adubato, that the Department of Justice's indictment of Menendez is somehow payback for Menendez standing up to the Obama administration?
Look, Jeremy, I don't want to believe that the Department of Justice would engage in such an activity, but I'll say this. A 2+ year investigation by the federal government of Senator Menendez, and now finally they bring these charges after the attacks on the part of Senator Menendez on Cuba, on Iran, and would Netanyahu coming to Congress and the administration not wanting Democrats in Congress to be any way a part of that, and Menendez not turning his back on Netanyahu, I would argue it's a hell of a coincidence. And I don't believe, I have no evidence, and no one else does, that that was the driving force here. But it is embarrassing and awkward for a Democratic administration, the White House, and the Department of Justice to bring these charges now. And there are an awful lot of folks who believe there's a correlation and a connection, and it's going to be very embarrassing for a lot of Democrats in Washington.
Do you see any chance that Bob Menendez steps down and leaves the Senate altogether?
I do not believe that Bob Menendez will be stepping down. I think the odds are 60-40 that he will not step down. However, if this case continues to play out in the media and public opinion starts to turn on Bob Menendez in a way that I don't see at this moment, it may be harder for him to conduct himself in the way he expects to. I was surprised when he stepped down from the Foreign Relations Committee so quickly. I don't think he will step down, but I could be surprised.
That's Steve Adubato, a New Jersey political analyst and the host of several programs on WNET New York, talking with us about the indictment of Democratic Senator Bob Menendez. Steve, thanks so much.
My pleasure.